now, more wine wisdom. It's Twisted Cork Radio with Jimmy and Miss Fox on 860 KKAT.
Welcome back to the Olivier and Miss Fox Twisted Cork Radio Show. Jimmy's on vacation. Today we are exploring the area of Beaujolais in France. We have the first wine in our glass here, and let's talk about this wine, Olivier. Let's talk about the name again, and I'm going to have you say it because it's so beautiful.
Of course. So we got a bottle of Beaujolais Village Nouveau by Georges Duboeuf. We're talking about the 2019 Vendange, of course.
Of course. It sounds so beautiful. So this is what you see at the front of all the liquor stores and grocery stores or wherever you are buying your wine across the U.S. This is something that everyone throws up right by the cash registers because these are, seriously, you can throw a bottle of this in and hardly notice the increase in your ticket for the grocery store or the liquor store by throwing it in. So let's talk about Beaujolais as the area and then focus in on this Beaujolais Nouveau type. So can you explain to me for the listeners out there, and remember we're pretty much all naive Americans, can you tell me a little bit about where Beaujolais sits in regards to other places we might be familiar with?
Of course, Beaujolais is just south of Burgundy and a little bit north of Lyon. To give you an idea of time, it's about an hour away from Lyon and about 4 hours and a half down south to Paris. So we're talking southeast of France.
Okay, the southeast. Okay.
An interesting fact is Beaujolais is so close to Burgundy. Why? It's because before the French Revolution, Beaujolais was part of the Burgundy region. It's only after the French Revolution they were independent. They split up.
So that's so interesting because I actually read some things at some point that did talk about Beaujolais being a part of Burgundy, and it must have been that old historical information. So then the other biggest difference, other than the fact that they're now different appellations, is the grapes they grow.
Yes.
So in that you're a vineyard owner in Burgundy, maybe you could give us a little bit of information, just do a high-level Burgundy, what grows there, and then move us into the Beaujolais area and what grows there.
Of course. Well, Burgundy, it's really simple. It's one of the simple things to remember about the grape. In Burgundy, in a red grape, you only have Pinot Noir, and for the white grape, Chardonnay. In one village of Bouzeron, they do aligoté. It's a rare
only one
grape.
Village.
Yes, but most of the time, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Now down in Beaujolais, we said they do Gamay for the red, and for the few white, a little bit of Chardonnay. It's really simple. In 1395, the Duke of Burgundy decided he doesn't want to grow Gamay in Burgundy. Already he feel like the Pinot Noir is going to be a big hit, so he focused all the production of Burgundy in Pinot Noir. So what's happening with the varietal Gamay? He went down south, found a new home in Beaujolais right there. And to this day, in certain Macon village or big appellation like Bourgogne in general, you can have up to 10% Gamay to show up the history, the old tradition. In southern Burgundy, Gamay is always mixed with Pinot Noir or used to be in the same field.
That is so interesting. So do you think that the Gamay grape is grown in the Beaujolais region only because it kind of needed to find a place, or do you think that soil is actually well suited for that grape?
That's a really good question, because in Beaujolais we can divide the soil in two different parts. The north is going to be granite schist. On the south we're talking limestone, and I do think the Gamay on the granitic terroir is really good. That's why all the crus of Beaujolais are located up north on those granitic soil. And the Beaujolais village we are drinking right now, the Nouveau, grow on a lime kind of ground.
I see. So we're drinking. So we both have in our glasses what is visibly almost fuchsia pink.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it is so purple. That's one of the things that identifies this kind of grape to me, and is it's just fuchsia.
Yes, yes.
Now, of course, the Nouveau, excuse me. What were you going to say?
It's worth a selfie. It's so
worth a
bright.
selfie.
It's so bright.
It is beautiful. And then they use a different type of preparation for a vinification for this type of wine. And many, you might have heard of it, called carbonic maceration. And it changes the style of wine that you're drinking. And part of it is it's very quick. And it's very simple, which is, of course, can you imagine trying to get grapes out of the field and made into wine and in a bottle in 3 weeks? So can you give us a little bit of information about carbonic maceration?
Yes. In Beaujolais, they put the whole grape together. They don't stem them. Okay, that's the whole cluster who's going to be crushed and after put in maceration. They're going to do the carbonic maceration because they want the flavor to disperse, to explode a little bit, I'll say. And they want this short maceration to be soft but powerful. That's the result of it.
Okay.
And I believe it's also a good way to control the tannin in a wine.
So it's interesting. I was in Spain this spring, and they were actually using partial carbonic maceration. So what you, as a listener, probably are thinking is, I don't even know what you're. So think about, okay, we all envision Lucy and Ethel squishing the grapes with their feet. That's what what you normally think of, and then the juice sits on the skins and picks up the tannins and the color and that. In this case, they're putting it all in whole bunches, and they let that just sit there, and the actual alcoholic fermentation starts within the grape. And then the carbon dioxide actually covers that up. It's not exposed to oxygen at that point. It kind of covers it up, and it lets that really quick and simple fermentation happen. It minimizes the tannins because it's not really soaking in the skins as much, and you get this really playful, fun, almost bubblegummy type of wine. So tell me what you get out of this glass as we kind of get into this quickly, and because we're going to move on to the next wine soon.
I really like you said, the bubblegum reference. For me, the Beaujolais Nouveau always have a little taste of Jolly Rancher on steroid. Boom. And
Love
this year, I think we got a raspberry Jolly Rancher right there, raspberry right up front. At the end, I get a hint of licorice. Really short finish, but a touch of licorice. And it goes like a firework. Whoops! Right there, you got all the flavor, and it's gone.
It's very fast, very, very quick out of your mouth.
What a good wine to introduce people who are not used to red wine. It's easy, it's fun, and it doesn't give you the tannic mouth of like, meh.
Yes, that's so true. It almost tastes like watered down wine, except it's not. In fact, the alcohol content of this is 13%.
Oh, yes.
So it's not that it's lost its alcoholic presence.
No.
It's got some bang. This is a wine that I know some people call gulping wine because you don't have to think about it. You get to put it right down. This is one that is perfect for the kitchen. As you get your Thanksgiving ready or your Christmas dinners ready and that across the U.S. And this wine is going to run you generally around the U.S. between $12 and $14 or so. Right at the checkout stand. Look for these types of wines. Georges Duboeuf
Yes.
is the one of the primary makers of this. You'll see a few other vintners doing this, and it is Beaujolais. We are today drinking a Beaujolais Village, which is a little smaller region, a little more select region, and we're drinking in the Nouveau version 2019. So stay tuned, you guys. We are going to be tasting 2 of the wines from Beaujolais, but they're from the northern region where the crus are, that's C-R-U-S, crus are, that are a little finer, and so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is Twisted Cork Radio with Jimmy and Miss Fox on 860 KKAT.